Hello.
What the hell are you doing?
We're back.
I had a thing
We're
planned.
here.
What? Since when do we just stop the music and go? Stop,
Now.
stop everything. No,
It's fun.
no.
Yeah.
Cut the mic.
No.
Stop.
No, they're already
No.
listening.
I don't care. We're starting over because we have a formula, Ben.
This is my formula.
You can't just
Well, we're already on air.
hang on.
No, we're already on air. Yeah.
No, you can't just.
we're
It's not
here.
done yet. This is how.
No.
You're literally the worst.
You said right after the song ended to start the show.
Yeah, to start the intro.
And I started the show.
To start the intro. Since when do
Well-
we just go right into it without playing?
Well, I feel like it was miscommunication on your
I
part.
feel like you're a toolbox for not letting me finish.
And I was having a good time. So either way, yeah, that's the Marvel theme.
Yeah, that was gonna start the show instead of just have you just yell into a microphone like a maniac.
Because it's fun.
That's-
Either
no.
way, they don't even know what show we're on.
They would if we did the proper intro, Ben.
Well, welcome to
Why don't you
Nerdist
do
the
it
Word,
for once?
everyone.
You don't even have the script. You don't even read it.
It doesn't matter. I don't have to
Fine.
have a script.
You do it.
My name is Benjamin Anderson, and I'm here with my lovely co-host.
Yes, you are.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Jackson, and I'm very annoyed.
We're having some technical difficulties, but
Cool.
but yeah,
Can I take my show back?
it's everyone's show.
Fine.
Well, either way,
I just like to have a very strict regimen so people can be eased into the show the same way, and we can have some continuity. But no, it's
fun.
Welcome to Nerd is the Word.
Woo!
Very much happy to be here.
They wouldn't be listening if
we're
they did
just-
not already know the show.
We're just two dudes that like video games, movies, and other stuff. We're gonna talk about it, what's new, what's not, whatever. Like I said, I'm Jackson.
And I'm Ben.
Also, very irritated, but I'm gonna tell you what my favorite Marvel movie is.
Oh, what is that one?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
It probably is. I don't know. It's hard to say because I might say that one because I feel like those are the actual ones of art within.
Yes.
Like they're actually well directed, well written.
The first one was very good, and the second one just knocked me off my feet.
Just to be a little bit different, I'll say Winter Soldier.
That's a close second.
Because that one's very, like, I feel like if you could watch that film without knowing any other film in the MCU.
That's true.
And
Despite
it's
it being a
just a good
sequel.
action movie.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about Marvel movies.
And Marvel altogether, like as a brand.
Basically, there's been a lot that's been happening for Marvel this year, at least in the first quarter. They started the year off with the release of Captain Marvel, which was like a week or two ago. We're going to talk about that briefly, but I'm going to give it the rundown of everything, hopefully.
I saw opening night.
I did too, actually. James Gunn was rehired by Disney to direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and they said, hey, he was never gone, but that's probably a load of poppycock.
That's a lie.
And then we were going to talk about Endgame a bit because there was another trailer that came out, and it's going to be premiering soon. Sooner than later, at least.
Oh, yeah.
Like in a month or so?
Yeah, at the end of April.
Jeez, yeah, within a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's all over,
Well, I mean,
basically. The Infinity Saga, I think it's going to be referred to.
yeah, that's what they're going to call Phase 1, 2, and 3 of the Marvel Universe.
Crazy. All right. Well, you want to start with your thoughts on Captain Marvel? You've been waiting to do this for a while.
Yes. I feel like there's a lot of controversy around this film.
Oh, can I give the background of the situation?
Well, I mean...
Unless you got that.
Well, I can probably do that. I mean,
okay.
I mean, a lot of, like, the background of this comes more from Brie Larson herself.
Yeah.
And Brie Larson is a very interesting actress because she isn't particularly bad. It's hard to say that she's bad.
She's been in very good things. I heard
she's been in good
she
things.
was pretty excellent in Room, I think it's called.
Yes, she won an Oscar for Best Actress.
Also, she was in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which I very much enjoy.
Yes. Minor role in that one.
Minor role, but,
But it was still pretty good.
fun.
She was also in Community for a few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very fun show. I mean, her career is, like, a little lackluster, but it's still pretty good in terms of, like, what she's done. And also she literally just turned 30, so she's only 30 years old. So, really young in her career. Now, the thing with Captain Marvel is, this is the first female superhero coming from Marvel.
Is it though?
Like her own movie.
Okay, I was gonna say there's a lot.
Well, yeah, there's other like female heroes, but I'm saying more to have her own standalone movie and to be part of the big boys.
The big boys.
The big boys. And I mean, a lot of people saw this film almost as a feminist kind of movie, and I feel like that is a false.
Yeah, it was interesting to see them take that angle with it because in the first trailer that came out, they showed some interesting shots and established like with the theming of the movie kind of, and I think the people really like took the ball and ran with it when it was like they had like one like slide of like Captain Marvel and like then it was text that says they need her or they need her and then it was like and then they put an A in front of the H and then an O at the end of R, so it was like a hero.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that was like a little like I think it was meant to be more quirky than it was meant to actually be like.
Yeah,
that
I don't know. But
it's also
people kind of Black Panthered this and just took the politics of it and ran.
Well, the main difference is that Black Panther has always been a political thing.
Yes.
Black Panther's even in the initial comic book run has always been political.
Yes.
So I don't see any problem with Black Panther being taken as a political thing, where as in Captain Marvel, I mean, really, other than that, Marvel really never pushed this as a feminist type film or a pro-woman film in general.
Yeah, I can't recall anything personally of
like
specific movements they made to promote it as that specific film. I feel like they were just like, here's the movie, and it's the female lead.
I mean,
it wasn't like big movements for.
I mean, at most, he was kind of saying, Kevin Feige, the CEO of Marvel Studios, was pretty much saying, we should expect more women superheroes having solo films within, which is very good. I feel like it's a good thing to have because it's more diverse and probably will lead to more interesting heroes being on the big screen. And I mean, really, the big thing that really got everyone kind of like in a twist is Brie Larson giving her speech at the Crystal Award for Excellence in Film of 2018.
And was that last year? Like late last
year? Yes,
year?
it was around last year. Not like fully a year ago, but
yeah. When did the first trailer come out? Like January for the movie?
I think so.
I'll look into that.
But yeah, I mean, so basically, this is kind of like, how would I word this? This is kind of like a big women's event, and it's really big
like
for
a women's film fest.
Yeah, it's kind of like a women's film festival, kind of.
The second trailer came out 3 months ago.
Yeah, and I mean, she went on stage and she like kind of said a spiel of pretty much saying, I don't care. Like, I'm kind of just phrasing this. I don't care what a white dude, 40-year-old white dude, has to say about film.
No, well, her whole point was that the majority of film critics, 67%, are white men.
Yes.
Less than a quarter are like non-white men.
Yes.
Under that is white women, and 2% are non-white women.
Oh, I know that's what she was trying to say, but like to give the big overall
she said
bracket.
She wanted it to be more diverse. She said she wanted like a 20 30 split.
Because for some reason she went off of she went off of actual what is it called? Population statistics for it, which is kind of strange. I don't know if that's really I don't know if that's the best way of doing that. Of like just saying, oh, there's too many white people in doing film analysis. And I mean, it's not to say that there shouldn't be more diversity in film analysis, because I think it's very interesting due to the fact that you get new outlooks on a film and it means something very differently to different people.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting, like, because she kind of turned, she could have just said, oh, I want more diversity in film criticism.
Yeah.
But then she specifically attacks white dudes.
No, it wasn't meant to be an attack.
But it's not. But that's how she worded it.
It was like, if you make a film for minority women,
yeah,
there's a very small chance that it will be reviewed by a minority woman. And she said, well, I don't care what some 40-year-old white dude has to think about that movie. I'd rather hear what the minority women have to say about that.
But the issue is, she still said, I don't care what a 40-year-old white dude has
She also said
to say.
several times, "I don't hate white guys."
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if someone on the internet is just going to take something she said. You know what I mean? I know that's what she said after the fact, but
No, she said it before. She prefaced that.
yeah, but people are just going to take certain phrases and just going to blow it up.
So are you saying like people took that phrase and
Yes.
ran with it, or
Yes,
okay?
they did. And that's why I'm more pointing it out. And it's also the fact that she also brought up the film More Exactly: A Wrinkle in Time. And that's a very confusing film for me in particular. Because, A, the film isn't particularly that good.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I remember seeing trailers. Oh yeah,
yeah, it's not a
4.2,
particularly good
42,
film. And
53 tops.
and it felt like she was kind of blaming that the films weren't made for 40-year-old white dudes, which the film probably wasn't. But I feel like I could name multiple films that weren't made for 40-year-old white dudes that got very good review scores. Like Moonlight, for example,
Mm-hmm.
about gay,
Homosexual.
homosexual African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
We also that one won Best Picture 2 years ago. We also have Tangerine, which is a film about African American transvestites in the human trafficking. That also got very good review scores.
Mm-hmm.
And I doubt those films were made for 40-year-old white guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I don't know if it's fair to, like, say certain things. Not to mention, I feel like in terms of social justice, I feel like film analysis is very low and really isn't necessary for social justice compared to other things currently.
Yeah, I don't know. She was at, I don't know. It seemed like she was in the right place at the right time to say that stuff, but like people took it out of context and began like kind of like straw manning this like image of her that she just hated white guys over like a statement
It
that
doesn't
like is kind of.
it doesn't help that she's not a very good public speaker. She doesn't seem to be that good.
I mean, she was fine. Like it wasn't like she was horrible or anything.
No, but it's like I feel like half of the time when she spoke on there, she kind of had her foot in her mouth and doesn't say anything.
It was kind of clumsy the way she said
It was very clumsy.
She had interesting points, and like the way people have reacted to it has been completely overblown. But I feel like if she had said it, I mean, I'm not blaming her for like anything, but I don't know.
I feel like
kind of started something that like really shouldn't have started.
Well, I mean, it's also the fact that we also have to consider when the fact that within feminism, there's a way of thinking, like this was kind of like a base thing in feminism alone, where if you're white female, you're not as much of a feminist as a African American female. There's a way of thinking where that is seen as true. You're not as much of a feminist.
Okay, is this like the extreme minority of views, or like, because this is the first I've heard of it?
It's kind of interesting because I've found this out through a lot of different sources after a while, and it's kind of interesting because it's kind of obvious after I've seen a few of these things, because she, particularly some of the stuff that she picks out are more like racial kind of movies that she picks up on. Like in particular, there's a she particularly says it's hard for black women in film, and one interview that she was talking particularly to a black lady who was interviewing her about, and it was really weird and kind of jarring.
What?
It was just kind of like, it's like the way she says it is kind of just off in a weird way.
So,
because it kind of feels like she's kind of like put in a rock and a hard place, because she doesn't want to make Captain Marvel a feminist film, but she kind of has to, because she's put in a position where she could make a change, but the film wasn't made out to be a change.
You think she like purposely? Do you think she did or didn't want it to be a feminist movie?
It's not. It's not even the
a
fact that she
pro
wanted it or
women
wanted
movie
it to
or
be.
whatever.
It's just the fact that it kind of turned into that, and that's what people pushed for.
I don't know how or when or why, but basically, like I said, it was kind of the people took the politics of the movie and ran with it and said, if you dislike the film, you're a sexist.
Yes.
There's a large sect of people who are like that, and there are
Ghostbusters.
several people who are just like, yes, she sucks. I hate the movie,
Well,
and that's wrong of them. But like to people who just thought it was like mediocre or just not as good as the rest, like I don't know. There's just like a bad image
Yeah.
that is instantly cast upon him.
and then there's the neckbeard people on YouTube that are just like they make complaint videos on Brie Larson day after day
Yeah.
and just saying, "Oh, I'll never see this movie," and I'm just very confused because when I hear stuff like this, like the way she says certain things, she kind of sounds like a wingbat.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't really take what she says the most serious.
I don't know. It was just
'Cause-
kind of rough. Like the whole controversy would just kind of spread as soon as like 6 months ago when the first trailer dropped. That was just kind of when it started. Since then, like even past like launch, it's just been very kind of violent almost, where people are like saying so and so about the movie, and it has to be this or it can't be that, or this sucks or this is incredible or whatever.
I feel like everyone's polarized in this film, and I just feel like
Yeah,
it's okay
it's
at
very
best.
mixed, but like it shouldn't be this black and white.
No, it shouldn't be, and I don't really get why. Mainly because I'm like I read reviews saying it's 100%, and I just don't see it, and then I read reviews saying it's like a 3 or a 2, and that doesn't make any sense to me either.
So from what I'm seeing across the board, I'm on Metacritic right now. The Metascore is a 64. Most of the reviews are positive. A good majority of them are mixed, and then there's one straight negative one.
Yes.
Whereas the user score is a 3.6 overall. And I think it's because it's been review bombed like drastically, but it's 853 positive, 444 mixed, and almost 2,000 negative.
Yes.
And I don't know. I'm just looking at some of these bad reviews, and they're just very kind of stupid. Like, they don't really say anything. They say it's bad, wooden, nothing special, terrible movie, bad performance.
I mean, and it's really weird because, like, it's one of those weird movies where it's, like, it's easier for me to give it a good review than it would be to give it a bad review.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I really kind of wanted to like this movie. Because I feel like this
Yeah.
could have been a good movie. This could have been a great movie. Depending on how they did it.
Yeah, I was very interested in just trying to see, like, where this could go, because she's such a powerful hero and, like, lore-wise. And
mean-
she's coming in so late into the MCU. Like, this was the last thing we see in Infinity War before
Yeah.
the credits roll, basically.
I mean,
and it's, I don't know, I just feel like they kind of dropped the ball here.
and, I don't know, like, how... I couldn't even tell you I was interested in the film for the first 40 minutes.
The first 40 minutes were very rough.
Like, I wouldn't say it's Venom rough by any means, but it's
Yeah.
still, like, the pacing of this film was bad.
The theming of it was bad too. Like I
The
couldn't
theme
tell
itself?
like a style it was going for. Like it
Oh,
felt
you
like
mean by
kind of
style.
like it was like Guardians in one part, and it was like
Uh-huh.
kind of Captain America E in one part, and then it was like very, I don't know. It just kept switching like tones, and I couldn't tell. Like
Well-
nothing was really solid for me. Like her, like Captain Marvel herself, I couldn't really place a personality on her. She was kind of pretentious sometimes, and kind of naive sometimes, and then kind of like, I'm super strong, and then kind of like I'm super weak. And then she would try to be funny, but then she would be like,
It seemed kind of bratty.
like whenever she would make a joke, she's hysterical, right?
Oh,
Like,
I see.
apparently she's supposed to be
Oh.
hysterical. And then whenever Nick Fury would make a joke, she'd just kind of look at him sideways.
Because I laughed more at Nick Fury's joke than I ever
Yeah,
did.
Sam Jackson, as always, nails it.
But Samuel Jackson is a amazing actor, to say the least.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest issue with the movie is just Brie Larson's performance.
It's weird because it's just like I don't know because I couldn't tell you how to play a character like this, but I feel like also the writing is super off.
The writing obviously is a big part of it, but I don't know. Like, because Captain
'Cause-
Marvel herself is just so underwhelming.
Because there's moments where they're trying to do like a fish out of water kind of story. You know what I mean? Like she comes onto Earth and she doesn't quite know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they kind of wanted to make it more like Thor in the sense.
Kind of like Thor and Wonder Woman, whereas like they just are confused at like the quote unquote modern world, and they have to like walk through it and like discover things. But like both those other movies just did it much better and with likable characters.
Well, they're both likable, and they felt believable. Where every scene I think I've seen before she made it on Earth, which is within the first 15 minutes or first 30 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
She just seemed like to act like a normal woman.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't seem any bit different. And the whole point is she wakes up on like this alien planet with no memories of her past.
Yeah, they do the
and
classic
she's been
amnesia.
there for 6 years. The amnesia thing didn't really like kill the vibe for me that much.
Yeah, I know.
It's more
a trope.
I don't think it was bad in those. I think it's more when they showed us flashbacks. That was just really weird.
Yeah.
I almost rather they just actually showed us the scene. Because they made it seem like this is a big deal.
And it would like tie back to something, but like it was just kind of like, here's her falling down as a child, and we're like, oh,
okay,
that's obviously an important memory, and then that was it.
Yeah. Well, also it's the fact that we've seen it as a viewer already, like when they're sweeping our mind at the very beginning.
Yeah.
We already saw what was happening. Like we already knew. We kind of already like grasped all of her memories.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still in a state that she doesn't remember.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is the point?
It just doesn't click. Like, she just doesn't do anything for me. Like, every other Marvel hero has some sort of, like, charm or, like, charisma or something that just makes you like them.
Yes.
Like, Tony Stark is incredible. Steve Rogers, incredible. Doctor Strange, even. He's, like, a kind of a tool in the comics, and, like, they made him some kind of pretentious dude, but he's really funny and, like, likable still.
Well, I mean, really, like, I almost argue a lot of these characters are at a weird stage where I'm like, I just have to see them play off other people and see if they can write them better.
Yeah, like, Doctor Strange was pretty good in his movie, but he was still kind of a jerk. Like, the whole arc of the movie is supposed to realize that, like, he can... Like, he's not incredible. Like, he's not perfect or something. Like, he starts the movie as, like, this masterful surgeon, but, like, is very cocky. And, like, later on, he is, like, he has to do surgery on, like, the Chosen One or whatever, but his hands are still screwed up. And then he looks to, like, the other doctor that he was insulting earlier and is like, here, you do it. And he's like, oh, cool, thanks for letting me do it. Thanks for trusting me. And he's like, yeah, no problem. But, you know, like, for sure, like, he wouldn't have learned his lesson if his hands weren't screwed up still.
I mean, that's true, but I feel like I would rather watch Doctor Strange again than Captain Marvel.
Yeah, for sure. But, like, the point is, like, he is kind of a jerk in his movie, and that's kind of his character, but, like, he plays off of Tony Stark in Infinity War, like,
I mean,
incredibly.
I mean, even though, like, I would go into more Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is an interesting person to me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he could maybe be the next Tony Stark.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to do with him.
Yeah.
But the main issue is they're building Captain Marvel's humor to be more like Tony Stark's humor, too.
But she wasn't funny.
But she's trying to be, like...
They tried, but it wasn't funny.
Why? Yeah, she's trying to be a wise Alec, just like Tony is, and it doesn't make much sense.
All the jokes she read were just not good.
I know. Well, I don't think the jokes were bad. Maybe it's her delivery. I don't know.
Maybe it's both. There's something
it's hard to say.
Jive. Like, it was meant to be a comedy, but, like, I wasn't laughing.
It's weird because she's...
Like, Sam Jackson would make me go, huh, every once in a while, but, like...
Well, because Sam Jackson knows how to be humorous.
There were, like, some funny moments, but, like...
I
don't know.
I also wonder if it's because this movie was co-directed.
Maybe.
And weren't... And, like...
Well, the Russo brothers, don't they co-direct?
Yeah, but they're kind of more... they've done stuff in the past together, and they kind of know what they're doing at this point. Where I feel like these directors don't really have, like, a backbone enough in the sense where they can like, demand Marvel to do something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the Russo brothers could stand up and say, hey, why don't we do it this way and have it be this way?
Yeah.
Because the Russo brothers, before they did any Marvel film, were on, like, shows like Community that have, where, like, the entire point is to balance these so many characters.
Yeah.
And other projects that were very similar to that. And that's why I feel they can balance that many characters at the same time compared to what these directors probably could.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was just kind of... It was kind of a mess.
I'm trying to think what else you want to... Is there any, like, I feel like we could go in a little bit, like... We could probably go into spoilers for a bit for this one. I don't feel like it's a big deal.
I mean, like, there's not much to spoil.
I feel like...
Like, I'm trying to honestly think, like...
Because I feel like...
There's, like, a twist involved, but,
there's
like...
a twist, but...
We don't need to talk about that. Like, the one
The
big
issue is...
spoiler is a minor spoiler. Like, the one thing that people are upset about that's, like, is a quote-unquote spoiler is such a minor thing.
Are people upset about that?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
So if you're
I do know why,
super
but...
adamant about not learning about this small spoiler that people are ridiculously upset over, then we'll see you next week.
Yeah, tune out for 5 minutes or something. But
Nick Fury,
yes,
is emblematic, his eye patch.
Oh.
So, since, like, that's, like, the part of his defining feature.
Oh, that's just a character design thing, really.
Yeah, but, like, it's part of his mystery, and, like, it makes it, like, it's, like, part of who he is, in a way. And in Winter Soldier, I think, it's a Winter Soldier Civil War, they make a big deal about it. Like, Captain America's like, we have to do the right thing. I trust him. No, he's like, yeah, it's Winter Soldier. It's about Bucky.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I trust Bucky. And Nick Fury just peels his eye patch off, and he's like, last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye or something. And he's like, you better keep an eye on him or something. And
I guess technically he did trust the
So
cat.
then, in Captain Marvel, like, obviously he doesn't lose his eye. And there are a few jokes, like, where he, like, squeezes lemon in his eye or something, and it's like, that's the eye he loses.
I think those jokes kind of worked.
Yeah, those are fine, but, like,
those ones were pretty good.
like, the whole movie, he's petting this cat that they find in a lab, and it turns out to be a flurkin, I think it's called, which is, like, some alien creature disguised as a cat.
That is a sidekick alongside Captain Marvel in the comics.
Yeah, basically. And he goes to pet it one time, and he does it too rough or something, so the cat scratches his eye.
Yes.
And that's what causes him to lose his eye. And that's the joke.
It's weird because I'm like, was it played up for laughs? I couldn't even tell because it was directed pretty poorly.
I guess. It was supposed to be a joke. But everyone's, like, ridiculously, like, I have one friend who, like, just straight up texted me after I saw the movie, and he was like, did you see how stupid that was? And I was like,
I mean,
well,
I guess it is.
Yeah, it's stupid, but it's not like I'm going to kill the Russo brothers because of it.
Well, I mean, it's not the Russo brothers' fault. They probably...
Yeah, I'm not going to kill
they probably
whoever
had a better,
directed it over it.
They probably had a better thought in mind.
They directed Winter Soldier, so I'm sure they had something in mind.
They probably actually had something in mind, unlike what actually went down.
But yeah, so that's... And then, like, immediately afterwards, like, next time you see Nick Fury, he's picking out glass eyes or something at his desk. And, like, Agent Coulson comes and he's like, wow, sir, I can't believe you lost your eye defending the Kree children or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, yep, I'm a brave guy. And he's like, all right, well, good luck on your choice or whatever. And he, like, walks away.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's weird because, like, at first... I was kind of like, did he actually lose his eye? I felt like it was another gag.
Yeah,
saying
me too.
That he didn't lose his eye.
But like, he did.
And then, like, he actually did. And I was just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I was like, oh, good joke. He scratched his eye.
It wasn't like...
He was like, you'll be fine, right? And he was like, yeah, I'll be fine. But he wasn't. So
like, he said he was fine throughout the entire thing. And I'm just really confused. Because I'm just like... Because throughout the entire dinner scene where he doesn't have his eye.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I'm just like, oh... So does he have his eye back, or is it actually gone, or... To be honest, what they should have done is just, like, left it a mystery, so that no one ever knew. Because I felt like that's way better than what anyone could actually come up with.
It probably would have been smarter if, like, they said, hey, you're gonna be fine. He was like, yeah, and then, like, that's the last you see him. So then it's not like very clear whether or not he did lose the eye. And then if they wanted the Russos wanted to do something with the eye,
Yeah.
like later where it's like,
Well-
my mom cut my eye out or something.
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
Like it just was a stupid way of doing it, and I'm not that upset about it, but people are.
I
It's
mean,
dumb.
I thought you were actually. I didn't know where you were going with this at first. I thought you were going to go with more, the. I don't know how
think
obvious.
it's a bit ridiculous that like this super cool agent man who's man of mystery, literally just cheated death multiple times, lost his eye to a stupid cat.
But it's whatever. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought you were gonna. At first, I thought you were gonna go with the main villain twist, where it was.
I mean,
Where it wasn't the
I don't know.
Skrulls.
I
It
don't
was
really
the
want to
Kree.
talk about that.
I don't know. Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, the twist was fine. I'd rather
I
leave
think
it
it
as
was-
a surprise to
well-
people that do want to see it.
it was a.
I would say you could just straight up skip this movie though. Like
You can.
honestly, like there's nothing. Like if you saw the trailer, you know what Captain Marvel can do. She shoots fire out of her hands and can fly. That's
She's
it.
a laser woman, dude.
And like there's some bonkers stuff with like the Tesseract that made me and the guys like actually just look up a timeline because we were so confused as to how the Tesseract fit into this plot. And we're like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I didn't think it was that big of a deal because the Tesseract has always been like.
The MacGuffin.
Like all these Infinity Stones are just MacGuffins for the plot to actually happen.
Yeah. it
So
was
I'm
just,
like,
you know,
whatever.
we were like confused as like, wait, how does it there?
But yeah, I understand why it would be a little confusing because it's a little odd how they kind of just have everything connected and like how it works. It's just really weird. The effects in this movie are just weird at the same time.
yeah.
How do you feel? Like because the effects on Samuel L. Jackson himself actually look very good.
Yeah.
And they look very decent. Where when you look at anything with Brie Larson actually being like in like full Captain America thing in space, it looks pretty bad. And looks very jarring.
Yeah, like I don't know, like when she went in her space suit to fly around zoomy zoom thing, like in space, all the Kree have like this like mesh that goes over their mouth so they can breathe in space, and they
Which-
get like a diver suit basically,
Which is kind of cool. I kind
which
of
is interesting. But then she leaves like the top open for a mohawk, and I'm like, wait,
Well, everyone has a top open.
no,
I feel like other
she's
people.
the only one who has her hair out.
I would have to rewatch that, but I'm pretty sure
I
other
paid
people.
attention. I was like, okay, wait, so she has a mohawk out. Does anyone else have any sort of like marker
See,
or
it's weird because
top opening?
in the comic she is also like that, so it isn't like the movie.
yeah, but I'm sure they explain why she is like the only one who opens her thing.
I mean, that's a little. I don't know. I don't think it's
I
that
was like,
big
that's
of a
kind
deal.
of a breach in the spacesuit, but if she wants to have a rad hawk, go for it. dude.
If she can have a cool, I kind of like the mohawk look.
I mean, I think it's cool, but I feel like it needs to be a bit of
Yeah.
just a
How-
tiny bit. Just
how do you like it that basically what I saw at the very end is her just having like, you know, like the fucking the laser face where it's just like your retinas are burned out.
Yeah.
That's basically what she had throughout the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
Just her. That's what it all looked like to me. I feel like I could have done that in Photoshop.
Yeah. When she went like full Super Saiyan, it was just kind of underwhelming too.
Well, and also not to mention, you know what I kind of hate?
Yeah.
That the entire climax is way too long.
Oh my god, it was so.
That
long.
climax is too long. It doesn't need to be a 2-hour film. That film could have been an hour and 40 minutes, and I would have gotten the same results.
Yeah, it was. It did stretch out very long towards the end. Like I was just waiting for it to end. And like the fight scenes in the climax were just.
They weren't well choreographed.
There was like one, like when she finally is Supergirl, like they play a song. They play that like one
Which
90s song, like now I'm just a girl.
I think that one's at the very end.
Yeah, it was at the very end during the climax.
No, I mean like in the credits.
No, that was in the fight scene.
I would have to read.
I was like,
I guess
now
they
why
played
is
a
that
different part.
playing? Like, if they wanted like a Guardians of the Galaxy style, like super cool pop jam.
That's
to
what they're
play,
trying to do.
But they copied it way too late. Like it was just the
That's-
first time they played that during a fight scene. I was like, oh,
Really,
why?
really, what I'd rather have them played would be "Come as You Are" because it was also like, just because
But
they had
haven't
it
done
earlier.
that, like since like
They had it earlier in
Every
the film?
fight so far was like choreographed with like an original song of like fighting.
Well, yeah,
But like in Guardians, it's established like right off the bat, like everything's gonna be undertoned with an '80s jam.
yeah.
Like, that's the first thing that happens in the movie.
Well, not to mention, I mean, Star-Lord has a connection with these
that's
songs.
a personal connection.
They're
Whereas
all,
Brie Larson,
uh,
she shoots a... No, not Brie Larson, sorry. Captain America. She just shoots a jukebox once with her laser and is like, yeah, music. And that's it.
Actually, that's also another thing that I kind of hate in this film. She just caused a lot of like property damage.
And she doesn't care.
And doesn't care. And it's meant to be played off like kind of cutesy in a weird way.
Yeah,
but
like,
it's not.
You're built up to like want to care about her and her journey, but she doesn't care about anything. Like, she lands on Earth, which she has quote unquote never been on, and she just kind of shoots down to the middle of the planet, blows up a blockbuster, then raids a Radio Shack, takes all the junk in there, and then uses it to like jack into a payphone to call the Kree, and then like blows up buses and stuff. But like, she goes to like a bar to find some answers, and then just breaks stuff in there too.
Yeah,
and, like,
I'm just kind of confused in how she knows where to go. Also, her suit is like all powerful. Weirdly,
her suit is it's a space suit. It can change color.
It's like, little girl, press my suit. What color should I wear?
Yeah, it's like a mini game.
Oh, that was super weird.
Press my little iPod that I have attached to my phone, my bootleg Pip-Boy, and just select what color I should be.
It's just really weird, and I've been thinking about this, and I'm just like, man, I really just want to recast her right away.
I think like maybe with a different actress and some better direction, and I keep wanting to say better direction, writing, effects, and then like I just keep listing something like, wait, that's just the whole movie.
I mean, the effects are fine if the movie was better. You know what I mean?
Potential to be good.
Though. I can say, oh, the effects were okay as long as the movie was very well done. Yeah. Like, as long as I cared about the character, I wouldn't have been focused. I
didn't like her. She was just kind of a jerk.
Well, it's not that I disliked her. It's just that I don't care for her.
For me, it was both. I just kind of thought she was annoying. I didn't really care about her. Like, her best friend from Earth was some, like, a single mother.
Yes.
And she, like, outacts Brie Larson. Like, she has this
I don't know. Like, someone was trying to tell me it's, like, that's, like, the heart of the film.
What, her friend?
Yeah, apparently. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? They're just in the movie.
I just liked her a whole lot more than Brie Larson. But I didn't like her child at all. Her child was just as stupid. Like,
you got personality out of any of those two?
I mean, I thought she had like a compelling story. Like, yeah, we weren't allowed to work with the planes because we were women. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And it was like, then we decided to work with the doctor and test her plane projects. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then you just straight up, quote unquote, die one day, but they never find a body. And I'm like, there's no way you die. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And then you just come back 20 years later and say that you don't remember anything and that you want me to call you a Danvers or whatever, like a Veers. Like, no, like that's, can you imagine the emotional toll that has on
I
me?
understand that, but they don't do much with it other than that one little dialogue sequence.
Yeah, and I thought that was good, and then
I feel like it's interesting. They just didn't do anything with it, so I don't know like why I should care as an audience.
I just thought she was a good character.
I feel like she has the makings of a good character, is that they did nothing with it, though.
Yeah, compared to Brie Larson, though, so much more.
I guess so. I mean, it's
more compelling, at least.
It's more just that there's no character arc that happens. Particularly, like, when the twist happens. It's a big enough twist where she would have to, like... You would think she would be able to, like, rethink her life in a weird way. Like, you know what I mean?
It's a pretty big shift for her, like, to realize that, wait a minute.
We're fighting.
This is huge. Like,
yeah.
Everything I know is a lie.
Like, there's a point where that happens in the film. And, I mean, literally, like, for 6 years, she's been fighting she's just been told this lie. And then
it's wrong. So then she instantly switches.
So she instantly switches.
Yeah, I know this is a big thing. She says like this is huge, and then she doesn't really have it. It doesn't really have much of an impact on her.
She's just the hero, so
she still yells at like who was responsible, but like there's no issue really.
Also, how do you who comes in? Oh, what is his name from Guardians?
Oh, Ronan.
Ronan. There's no need for Ronan in this film.
Yeah, I was like, why is he here?
Take him out.
Like, and then, why? Why are you here?
Take him out of the movie.
he wasn't even like good or cool looking. Like he just sat in his ship and was like, "All right, take her out." And they were like, "Okay, boss." And then like when she started doing like a super cool, "Now I'm just a girl," they were like, "We'll be back for the weapon." And they were like, "What? The Tesseract?" And they were like, "No, the woman." And they drove away. And I was like, "Oh,
The worst part is
why you here then? What do you?"
the worst part for me personally is just the fact that because he's there, he adds another 15 minutes to the movie.
It's just filler.
And I'm just like, why are you here? Why is all this happening?
The one big line that that Dylan was particularly fond of was the "I have nothing to prove to you" one.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Basically, there's this one guy who she can't beat in a fight ever.
It's her
And
mentor,
then
basically, mentor character.
when like she has to fight him at one point, and then she's all super powered up, so he's like, "Don't use your powers, fight me, prove to me that you can beat me in combat." And then she just shoots him, and I was like, "Oh, didn't see that coming." And then she like walks up to his body, and she's like, "I have nothing to prove to you." And then it's a big clappy line, but like, everyone in the theater was just kind of like,
yeah, like I don't get why that was like all she does. Actually, there's no consequences in this film. Like I don't know how powerful.
The Shield doesn't really care that she's been blowing up stuff
no one gets hurt in this film.
Killing aliens.
No one gets hurt in this film. Either her laser beam instantly kills someone, or it just bounces them around.
Oh yeah, she like shoots someone with like pure solar tesseract energy or something, and then they go and they fall over. It's like laser tag.
I just don't get it.
You're out.
I don't get it. Either she kills someone right point blank or doesn't. And it's only because the writing allows it to happen. And
it was just not... I mean, I wouldn't say it's a terrible movie.
No. If you just want to not think and you just want to, like, not...
I'd say it's one of the weakest Marvel movies by far, though.
Because
I put it around probably like a step or two under Black Panther, because Black Panther did have some interesting stuff in it. Some of the characters were pretty cool.
I mean...
The effects are garbage, but, you know...
Well, yeah. Oh, well, I think the effects towards the end were bad. I think at the beginning...
I actually liked the character in it, so that's a plus.
Well, also there was more characters to like in that film.
That's true.
Also, not to mention, I mean, I feel like this is one of the worst Marvel films just due to the fact that every other Marvel film, even the first ones, got at least one thing right.
Like, you look at Iron Man. You just look at the original Iron Man movie, and you're like, how did this come out 10 years ago?
That's true.
And then how did we get this today?
Well, and also, I mean, look at Ant-Man, which I think is one of the least memorable films in the MCU.
I like Ant-Man a lot because, I don't know.
I know, it's a
Edgar
good
Wright
film.
began working on it, right?
Yeah,
And then he left the project because Disney was trying to make him do
Disney was
stuff.
Marvel was just very forceful.
But they did keep some of his things, correct?
Yeah, not a lot, I don't think. It was pretty early in the process, but... I mean, I'm not saying Ant-Man's a bad movie. I'm just saying Ant-Man is pretty...
lower on the chain.
It's pretty unmemorable in most people's eyes.
Yeah.
But everyone still likes Ant-Man.
That's true.
What I got out of that film is Ant-Man is cool.
Paul Rudd is cool.
Paul Rudd's a good Ant-Man. You know what I got out of this? Brie Larson. She could maybe be this character.
Like, Ant-Man's really cool in Civil War, too, because he, like, shows up and he's, like, this outsider dude, and he, like, proves to be a powerful asset to Captain America's team.
Well...
I'm hoping, like, Captain Marvel does, like, the same thing in Endgame, but, like...
I also think
I don't know if she will.
I also think him being under house arrest for Ant-Man and the Wasp actually is an interesting concept, at least.
Yeah.
Like, because... his decision to fight with Captain America actually cost him a lot more than what you actually thought at first.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, people do face consequences sometimes.
I'm trying to think of, like, what she went through. She discovered that something, that her life is a lie or something.
Yes.
She figured out her powers and, like, her Earth origins, and then leaves to go to space.
She also just had a thumbtack in her neck that she could have just taken out anytime.
She had like an SSD chip in her neck.
Even though anyone who had like a mirror could probably find that.
Well, she knew it was there.
Why didn't she take it out?
I don't know.
I just was confused, but
I don't
I
know.
guess maybe I didn't.
Because they kept threatening her. They're like, what can be given can be taken away. And she's like, okay.
I guess that's true, but technically not.
I don't know.
I-
It was
I-
stupid.
It was stupid because even in the first action scene, you know, like where the one guy like comes out of nowhere and like was trying to assassinate the sniper lady. I'm like, what is happening? I don't know what is happening. I don't know what's happening.
It was just,
But
I don't know.
but as I think more and more on Captain Marvel, I'm thinking more about recasting her. And you know who I want?
Who?
Allison Brie.
Really?
Yes,
I think she could nail that.
I think she is a very lovable personality.
She was really good in Community.
Very good in Community. She has like a very like she doesn't even have to like work out for the role because of the fact that she worked on Glow, which is a all women's wrestling type show,
There you go.
and it's very interesting. And she is a very I feel like she is a very good actress.
She was excellent in the Lego Movie as Unikitty as well.
Was she?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
But yeah, she's cool. I like her.
I like her a lot. I
Probably-
feel like she
I
would have
don't
done a better job, but that's just me.
I don't know. We'll see. I really hope that this is just a scenario of like very mediocre to rising star in Endgame. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, let's look at Thor. I feel like
Thor had an excellent journey, like over his movies.
Well, I feel like Thor had a pretty good I feel like Thor had a pretty good basis. It's just that the second movie didn't do anything, and
the
just
second movie's just bad.
just
It was like not
hurt
well
him.
written.
And then
But
then the
Ragnarok
third
brought him
one-
back.
third
Same
one
with,
like
like-
changed everything up. And then I think Infinity War actually gave him he feels more like a character.
Yep.
Not saying he was bad in
Ragnarok.
It's just saying I don't feel like he had a character worth saying he's worth rooting for until now.
Yeah.
I feel like he's worth rooting for at this point.
Because he's lost like everything.
Yes, especially at this point, and it's very much a revenge story for him,
Yeah.
and it's very interesting to me. Along with the fact that I feel like maybe her playing off other good actors could maybe help her.
She seems to have like a dynamic with Thor, according to the trailer that came
That's
out.
true.
Which should be interesting.
I mean, you know, at least she was kind of tolerable when she was talking to, when she was
Sam
who
Jackson.
Samuel Jackson. She at least had a pretty decent chemistry with him,
Yeah, that was the best parts of the movie were when they were talking together.
which is pretty good to say. I mean,
Mhm.
if little dialogue scenes are pretty good when two people
It's
are
just
together.
very much a blank slate.
Yeah, she's just very bland. She's kind of like oatmeal.
Hmm.
If I had to describe,
That's why we gotta add some Ragnaroks to that.
yeah, Captain Miscast.
What would you give it?
A good old 5.5 or a 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same.
It's weird because it's I can't say this is the worst movie to come out of the MCU, but I can't say it's the worst thing or the best thing in any means.
It's not worth the hate at all.
It's
not worth the glowing reviews either.
It's not worth your time to think about this movie personally.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting due to the fact of everything that's around it more than the movie itself.
Yeah.
The movie itself is only interesting because it's within the MCU.
Yeah, that's honestly the only reason why I saw that.
Because I feel like if, let's say, no superhero movies exist, and
Yeah.
this is the only one, this is a science fiction film. And this is about a lady who is in space, and she comes back, and she has lasers. Everyone would be like, what? You remember the movie Jupiter Ascending?
Nope.
Because no one else does. So Jupiter Ascending, I've heard this on another thing I watched. Jupiter Ascending is a film where Channing Tatum is very weird, and they all go in space.
Channing Tatum is very weird.
He's just a very weird boy. He has a weird dog nose. He has pointy ears.
What?
Yeah, Jupiter Ascending is a weird movie.
I'm gonna look this up.
It's made by the people who made The Matrix,
Oh,
and it's pretty bad. Now, Jupiter
Ah.
Ascending.
2015. Oh, 26, 40, and 5.3.
Now I feel like this is basically kind of like Jupiter Ascending if they threw in a Tesseract and and Samuel L. Jackson.
Fair enough.
That's basically how I would describe this film.
We were talking to one of our friends the other day, and he said, "Well, I really like that film, the movie." And I was like, "Well, that's fine, but I just can't side with you." And he was like, "Well, would you rather watch this or Venom?"
That was my favorite
and I
one.
sat there for a good 30 seconds, and I said, "You know what? I think I'd actually want to watch Venom again."
I feel like you would have a better time the second time around since he's.
Just like witnessing the car crash that is Venom.
I feel
instead
like
of just a very bland movie.
Well, I feel like there's certain scenes that actually work in Venom compared to.
Well, yeah.
I would argue there's actually funny scenes in Venom compared to Captain Marvel.
Like, I don't know. I feel like it'd be like eating ghost pepper chips compared to just eating ice cubes.
Well,
like, there's something interesting happening in one,
that's true.
and the other is just there, but it's not much substance.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Whatever. I'm about done with this. Are you ready to move on?
Yeah, we can move on. There's
We
not.
got 9 minutes to talk about James Gunn.
Well, all right. Well, I mean, to be fair, there's not too much to say at this point.
Okay, so here's the local
here's
lowdown.
the deal.
So, James Gunn, very talented director.
Probably the best director
One of my favorites.
in the MCU alone.
He is responsible for the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Yes.
The first one was a massive success.
Uh-huh.
Very good movie. The second one, I would say, is even better.
I'd say it's a lot better. I feel like critically it was not received as much better.
Which is a shame,
Or a
because
little
I
bit
feel
less.
like it has such an incredible
Well,
message, and it, really
I feel like
pretty.
I feel like it's a movie that doesn't work for a blockbuster, but it's a very good film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that, because it's less about the action and the like superhero-ness than it is about the characters and like their journey.
Because to be fair,
Growth.
they were on a planet the entire time, and I could see someone saying that's boring, but I feel like that's not why you're.
Yeah.
You know.
But the character growth is incredible, like, to see
Yes.
it, and it's I don't know. So the first and only Marvel movie I've like cried in the theater because it was really sad. At the end.
I feel like it's because James Gunn can actually work with emotion a lot better than
yeah,
a lot of other directors that we've put in the MCU so far.
yeah. So his all the like the style of that movie is all him. Like
Yes.
the using the soundtrack is all his idea, and like the way I feel like the Guardians wouldn't be as successful without him.
Well, I mean, we also have to consider Guardians. It's very much like all these comic book characters are on tiers. Like Iron Man was like a B or C tier list character before he had his movie. Let's say if Iron Man's a B or C lister, Guardians of the Galaxy is more of like a W. In terms of the MCU, like comic book wise.
So he had to kind of take something that was basically nothing.
Yes.
And make it big, and he did.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Yes. I heard actually the Guardians of the Galaxy comics are pretty good sometimes. Yeah. And they kind of rotate out a cast of characters. So I think we might be able to see a new cast of characters
We'll see.
After Volume 3.
I don't know.
Possibly, but basically what the lowdown is.
Oh, wait, I just want to say what other films he's directed or been part of. The Scooby-Doo movies.
He's been part of both of those.
That is all.
Well,
that is all I'd like to mention.
I'm trying to think what else.
He's also going to be directing the second Suicide Squad movie, which actually makes me think it will be good.
Rumors have just came out. Not rumors, but new news saying it's going to be a entirely new thing.
Reboot, right?
New thing.
And funnily enough, Will Smith has said no to being in it.
I mean, whatever.
Like, you want to be in The Matrix, Will Smith? No. You want to be in Suicide Squad? Yes. You want to be in Suicide Squad 2 with James Gunn? Nah.
You want to be an after?
Nah.
Yes.
Want to be a YouTube celebrity? Want to be in YouTube Rewind? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's hot. That's hot.
It's weird because I'm very confused on why he wouldn't want to be a part of it.
Whatever. Anyway.
Will Smith's career is going downhill.
James Gunn kind of had like a Kevin Hart Oscar situation, would you say, right? Where old tweets of his from like 2009 that were just very distasteful and just stupid and kind of offensive.
I mean,
were brought to light recently. It was something like they were just kind of nonsensical, random, and just
Well,
gross out just to be that way.
well, it was a very like conservative website that brought it up, and
Because he's a very outspoken,
uh,
like, anti-Trump guy, isn't he?
yes, he's very on the
Liberal.
left wing, and I would pretty much say like, those tweets were posted due to the fact of the time period and the type of humor that was very popular
Yeah, it
and
made
very
sense then. No one... Well, then that didn't make sense.
It's-
But, like, that type of humor of just saying outlandish stuff like that was... That was the thing.
It was the thing. It's not like it wasn't popular, and you can't say
now,
it wasn't.
like, obviously, looking at that, it's kind of not cool, but...
It's kind of
He's
like
here's what happened. 2009-ish.
Yes.
He said these tweets. To give you like an idea, it was like, I like it when boys touch me in my no-no square or something.
Yeah, it was kind of
Just
weird.
like kind of stupid stuff like that. And he's since apologized. Like, it's not long after.
No,
those
he
tweets.
apologized a long time ago, way
And
before
then,
First Guardians.
Before, like, he's apologized way before Disney hired him.
Yes.
And then they hired him. He made 2 movies, and now, not now, like last year,
Yeah.
people brought him back up, and they're like, "Look at these tweets," and Disney was like, "Okay, we're cutting ties with James Gunn."
I mean, there's even more layers to that story.
Fallout 4, everybody disliked that.
Yes. It's more layers to that story due to the fact that a lot of people,
That's just the TLDR.
I don't know, it's weird because like some people asked if they should fire him. They asked the CEO of Disney, and they say it's up to you. Now, the person who actually fired him is the executive PR man of Disney.
Oh, yeah?
Not anyone in Marvel.
Cool.
Disney. So it's like, oh, so you just like went above everyone else. You're not even like a person who makes anything creative. You're just a PR man. So you just decide to fire one of like your most talented people.
Mm-hmm. Everyone was very upset about that. The entire cast of Guardians of the Galaxy, like the core cast, wrote a letter saying that they were like not okay with this decision to
Yes.
fire him. They loved working with him, and like even like Dave Bautista, who plays Drax, like straight up said, "I'm just not going to be in 3 if James Gunn's not a part of it."
Yeah, I mean, and that's a testament of like these people who actually work with him really enjoy his presence and his company. So like there is something to be said there.
Like the internet petitions, like got hundreds of thousands of signatures, like getting back. And just recently they said, "Yeah, well, he's back in action." And didn't they like try to say he was never really gone?
They were trying to say like, oh, we never really thought of anyone else for the role, which I don't know if that was Marvel or was it Disney.
I don't know.
It might have been
Everyone
Marvel.
tell me about it.
And if it was Marvel who said that, I would say probably so. But I feel like Marvel in the back of their heads had to make a backup plan.
Yeah.
I mean, really the only bad thing I would say about this is it pushes Guardians back way later
Yeah.
than where I really wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Also, not to mention, I don't know how this him working with Warner Brothers and like DC and Marvel, how will that work?
It'll be interesting to see because as soon as he was fired, DC basically swooped in and picked him up for Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
which was brilliant. And
I mean, to be fair, do you think
Oh.
he's still going to direct it? Because I think he might be still opt out of it.
I mean,
if
I
he
don't know.
wanted to.
I feel like they might have made him sign something. We'll
Maybe.
see.
But I'm just kind of like, how will they deal with him after he's done? Because I don't know if James Gunn will leave Marvel or will he leave DC?
I think he'd stay with Marvel if anyone, because he hasn't even worked on anything DC as far as we know.
Well, yeah. He's like, I'm pretty sure he has the
Suicide
script
Squad 2 is
written.
slated for 2021.
Well, he has the script written for Guardians and I think for the new Suicide Squad.
It'd probably be like they'll use his script, but he won't direct it. Or I don't know. We'll see.
If he decides not to, because there's very heavy rumors that he is actually directing it, so it's kind of like it's hard to say whether he will or not.
Yeah. We'll find out soon, I guess.
Hopefully, it'll probably be better if he does.
Yeah, all we can do now is
Just wait,
rewatch all of the Marvel movies until Endgame and wait to see what
Yep.
happens next.
and Endgame either will be very good or hot trash.
You think it can be hot trash?
I feel like it could be. I'm not saying it is going to be. I don't want it to be.
I feel like with the Russo brothers and how far they slammed the ball with Infinity War, it's near impossible to fail.
I feel
but
like
I could be.
I want to say
very
fail.
wrong.
I mean, I'm not. I feel like everyone could just. It could be. I don't want to overhype myself and have it be just kind of okay. Because I feel like,
I don't know. I was super hyped for Infinity War, and then
I mean,
it was even better than I expected.
But I mean, look at something like kind of like look at
Civil War.
Civil War compared to Winter Soldier. I feel like Winter Soldier is a way
It's a
tighter
better
package.
film, I'd say,
But I guess it's like that's
wasn't
the
as
first
much as
time
it-
they wrote that many characters. I think.
yeah,
And to be fair, that's probably one of the better action scenes in the MCU.
yeah.
Is that entire
The
airline
airport.
fight scene? Yeah,
That was super cool.
because you know where everyone is at any time, and it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just excited to watch all those Marvel movies again. So yeah,
Ugh.
I'm tired.
Kind of, yeah. I'm kind of wiped out right now. I would talk about Spider-Man a little bit more, but you know,
We are gonna watch all the Spider-Man movies at some point.
I want to. I feel
We
like
just got a lot of stuff.
even
to
though I
watch.
don't like Amazing, I would want to watch
I'd honestly
Amazing.
skip Amazing. It just makes me sad at this point.
I know, but I feel like we need to.
All right. Well, we'll find out.
But, yeah.
I don't have nothing in mind for next week. We'll play it by ear.
We kind of have an idea, but I don't know.
Keep your eyes peeled on our social media. If we find out, we'll let you know.
We'll post a thing or two. And
Well,
just
I
say,
will. I don't know if you have
things are
posted
fun.
anything.
I've done a few things.
Have you?
Tried.
So you haven't.
We don't like talking about these things, Jackson.
All right, cool. So thanks for screwing the intro and our Twitter, Ben. I very much appreciate it.
I'm having a good time. And as
Um,
long as I'm having a good time, imagine everyone else is having a good time.
Okay. I'm not. But okay.
You're not having a good time?
Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll be back next week, hopefully. I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless you hear from us otherwise.
Well, either way.
We'll see.
Hopefully you have a good night, guys.
Oh, maybe we could do our super special D&D episode next week.
What?
I don't know. We do have an idea.
We have quite a few ideas,
A
to be honest.
D&D episode with our resident DM, but he's in the musical, and that doesn't start until... Well, it doesn't end until, like, the first week of
I think
April. So
we might have to wait until April.
might be until then. But yeah, we'll be around. We'll see you soon, folks.
We'll decide on something.
Have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, bye.